Hunters, it's been a while since the last video because I've been messing around with the dual blades and sword and shield, and after several days, I somehow came up with a build that I believe is balanced between damage and utility. While it's tempting to create a glass cannon build, it's not really something I enjoyed playing. So, with that said, if you're interested with the build I'm using, then I'm more than happy to share. By the way, if you like this kind of content, don't hesitate to leave a like and then subscribe. Here is the weapons and armor you will need to do my build, as well as the charm and the mantle. For the weapons, you will need the Blazing Leal and the Jaeger Ankh. For the armor, you will need the Zoshia B headgear and chest piece, Guardian Arkveld A for the vambraces, Dober Coil A for the waist, and the Dahad B for the legs. For the charm, you'll need the Chain Charm 2, and for the mantle, you'll need the Corrupted Mantle. Now, let's talk about the decorations. We'll split this in two parts. Decorations for weapons and decorations for armor. The decorations you'll need for the dual blades should be the level 3 Mastery Jewel, level 2 Critical Jewel, and level 1 Critical Jewel. For the sword and shield, you'll need a level 2 Critical Jewel, but if you have a level 3 one, please go ahead with it instead, and then a level 1 Critical Jewel. Now, for the armor decorations, you will need 3 Tenderizer Jewels, 2 Evasion Jewels, 1 Brace Jewel, and 2 Physique Jewels. Once you got all of that, you should have the following skills displayed on the screen right now. So why did I go with this build? Let me explain. It goes without saying that critical boost increases the damage dealt by your critical attacks. Since I only managed to get it to level 3, it will at least grant us a 34% critical damage boost, which is good enough. Much better if you can get it to higher levels if possible. Critical Element helps by boosting your critical element damage further. Having it at level 3 from the get-go is really good, combined with the fact that the Jaeger Ankh, your sword and shield, has some decent decoration slots, so you can potentially get it to go deal more damage compared to other sword and shield weapons. Critical Element procs every time you go and deal a critical attack. Master's Touch grants you a whopping 80% chance of your sharpness not decreasing during critical hits. It's a better utility skill than Razor Sharp, and you can easily crit using this setup since you'll get 50% affinity from the weakness exploit, provided that you meet its conditions for activation, 15% from Agitator, which activates every time a monster is in range mode, which is the state that most monsters will be in the end game most of the time, and a 5% affinity boost coming from the weapon, which gives you around 70% affinity. Whiteflame Torrent is a new skill that comes in with Zoshia weapons, and what it does is it gives you a chance to deal additional damage after landing attacks. This is great because the dual sword is a fast weapon, and it allows you to dish out a ton of attacks easily, meeting the requirements of the skill. Thanks to Dreaming Suntide for breaking down the math for the skill, and I've included a link for his channel in this description if you want an in-depth explanation from him. Weakness Exploit is a very good skill, and it helps provide the big chunk of the affinity we'll need to proc our dual sword critical attacks. This skill is important and the build will fall apart without it. Agitator is another important skill that we specifically aim for in this build. At max level, it gives you around plus 20 attack damage and 15% affinity. Despite the conditions for the activation, you will see that this skill's uptime will be frequent, given that monsters you fight in high rank and above will constantly be enraged. Constitution is a utility skill that is needed for weapons like the dual sword because you'll be doing a lot of dodging while using this weapon, and without it, you will see that your stamina will be spent really quickly, leaving you without stamina during critical situations. Getting it to level 3 gives you around 30% fixed stamina depletion, which is more than enough. Just like other builds that I made, Burst is a must and we should always make room for it. The 5-hit requirement for Burst can easily be procced by the dual sword, and who would say no to additional damage boost? The higher the level, the better. But for now, level 2 is more than enough. Evade Window is another utility skill which helps make your iframe dodges easier. This is optional, but for me it makes my life easier, so I'll go with this skill instead so that I can put more pressure into the monster. Marathon Runner works by slowing down the stamina depletion for actions that continuously drain stamina. This skill is very helpful in mitigating the stamina cost of Demon Dance, so it's a nice skill to have. Getting it to level 2 will give you around 30% reduction in stamina depletion. Blight Resistance is an extra skill that came from one of the armor pieces our build is using. While it's not required for the build to function, it's great to have because it reduces the duration of elemental blights at 50% at least. Like blight resistance, recovery speed is another extra skill from one of our armor pieces, and what it does is it lets you heal recoverable damage faster. Flinch free, as explained in other builds I've made using it, saves you from the trouble of getting knocked back by a teammate due to friendly fire. And last but not the least is Zoshia's Pulse. What this skill does is it lets your health gauge continue to recover up to the max value of your health, even without recoverable damage. Pretty neat if you don't like drinking health potions in the middle of a fight, but don't rely on it too much though. That will be all for now. If you like my content, don't hesitate to leave a like and then subscribe. It will go a long way in helping me to continue create more content for you guys. Alright, I will see you in the next one.